Kyle's not a murderer. We'll talk about it. So there are a lot of things being said about Kyle, and I think we should get the record straight. First off, him being a Trump supporter has nothing to do with the situation. Has nothing to do with the situation he put himself into and the situation others put him into. Right? Let's leave it at that. I know there's a video with him hitting a young woman who had a bad opinion about Trump. That does not count as evidence towards his guilt or some people's opinions of his guilt in this situation. Let me be clear. I am not a Trump supporter. I'm a supporter of the truth and guiding our hands accordingly. And then there's that Joseph guy, Joseph Rosenbaum, who was convicted of sexual assault and sentenced to like 12 plus years in prison, and he has a criminal record. And one of the things people were saying is that Kyle went there specifically for him, specifically to take him out. Not the case. In fact, Kyle probably didn't even know of this man's criminal record. And the fact that he's a sex offender does not automatically make it okay that he's dead. Now, a part of me does say it's okay. That's the animal. That's not the one that wants justice. The part of me that wants vengeance, which is something we'll talk about in a bit. So, in a search for the truth and somebody who could tell me the facts, somebody who might have a better opinion about the situation, I went into Google, checked out YouTube, and I did find somebody. And it's a YouTuber known as Colion Noir. So, I don't know how to say his name, sorry. But Noir pretty much has the videos, puts them together. He says he's a lawyer, so he's better equipped to judge the situation than myself. And he pretty much made a compelling argument. And I will link that video down below so that everybody else can see. My only issue with his video are certain points that he makes that I just don't agree with. Right? The things that I feel weren't necessary for his argument, because his argument alone is sound. Right? And I'll give you a quick rehash. Kyle gets in an altercation with Joseph. Joseph chases Kyle. Kyle runs away. Kyle is not the aggressor here. He has a rifle. If he wanted to be an aggressor, if he wanted to be a murderer, he could have shot Joseph from the beginning, but he doesn't. He runs. Joseph chases. Eventually, Joseph corners Kyle. Kyle shoots Joseph. People start coming in, just seeing this kid. Mind you, Mr. Noir points out that he's white. And it's just like, what? Okay, if we don't like it when people say black on, to promote a specific agenda, why are you saying white? Kyle is fine, right? We didn't need to put white. And people are doing that to emphasize the race thing, right? To kind of like put a little, you probably are going crazy about the situation because he's white. So anyways, Kyle runs from that situation because he hears people like, get that motherfucker. And it's just like, uh-oh, I understand why he would run. He was defending himself with Joseph. He runs. A mob starts chasing him. Mob, for all they know, and Mr. Noir says it himself, probably thought he killed this person in cold blood. So now they're chasing him. They start surrounding, they start attacking him. Now they think he's a murderer. He thinks they're there to kill him. He defends himself. And unfortunately, people got shot. People were killed and injured. And I'm bringing this point because this video that Noir has tons of information and is great and is necessary, and everybody should go watch it. It's probably the best series of information that I've seen from anyone to date. But now it's becoming a thing where I need to point out a few gripes I have with his video.
Then there are the people saying Kyle shouldn't have been there because there was an 8 p.m. curfew, and they'd be right. But that also means the protesters and the riots and everyone else shouldn't have also not been there.
My problem with that is kind of a childish train of thought. Kyle shouldn't have been there. Well, nobody else should have been there either. But he started it. No, but he started it. That's not an adult argument to make, right? Nobody should have been there, and that's it. Kyle shouldn't have been there. That's it. But they shouldn't have been there either. That was irrelevant. He didn't have to add that part. Then he says this.
I'm not really a fan of any 17-year-old being at a protest/riot. I know 40-year-olds who don't have the mental maturity to deal with the dynamics of a riot, much less an impressionable 17-year-old. But we send 18-year-olds to fight people in other countries. So I can't really say anything to a 17-year-old who wants to help protect businesses and people in his country.
Now he talks about 18-year-olds being sent overseas to fight for this country. Okay, that's something I know about. I joined the military when I was 17 years old. I was a part of the split ops group. So what happens is you can enlist at 17 with your parents' permission, and if they give you the signature on the paper, you can go to boot camp before your senior year of high school. Then you go to senior year of high school. After high school, you go to your AIT, which is Advanced Individual Training, where you receive your job training. You do not go overseas. You do not get sent to defend the country without that Advanced Individual Training. If you're in the infantry, that's your Advanced Individual Training. You are trained to deal with situations. You're an MP, military police. You go to AIT, your Advanced Individual Training. You don't do MP work until you get that training. So to say we send people overseas to defend this country, so it's okay for Kyle to defend this country, what training did he get as a service member that makes that point relevant? It doesn't. But here's the thing. If you see the same video Noir posted, you see a side of Kyle where he wants to defend things. In fact, there's a part of the video, and if it's not this one, it's another one, where he is actually the one that puts out a fire because somebody had started a dumpster fire and started trying to push the dumpster, and I think into a gas station. I don't remember right now. But Kyle's the one that looks like puts out this fire, and he even states in one of the videos that he was out defending an area to de-escalate a situation, allegedly. But he wasn't there to like really start anything. He just was placed into a situation where unfortunately people died. My point in that is I am not going to criticize Kyle for what he said regarding that, or criticizing Kyle for wanting to defend people and property. The only thing is you can't really say, hey, we send 18-year-olds to defend the country who are trained, and try to compare them with Kyle. Then he wants to add this.
To be fair, most of the people chasing Kyle at this point don't have the full context of what happened. But as is the case in a lot of these situations, there are a lot of bad actors who will take advantage of the chaos and engage in unnecessary violence.
It wasn't necessary to talk about bad actors, right? Because he even says, right, that as far as Kyle's concerned, he's defending his life. As far as everybody except Joseph, who was the first one to get shot, the part of the mob going after him, as far as they know, Kyle was a murderer. They were out to either detain Kyle. That's all we know. There wasn't a chance for them to attempt to detain Kyle. Nobody actually killed him, and I'll get to that in a minute. But right, there was no point in bringing up bad actors, because we don't know if these were bad actors. We don't know if the individuals who were part of this mob were exactly the same individuals who were part of rioting. We don't know if they're the same individuals who were part, like, for example, the dumpster fire or the ones destroying property. We don't know. There's just a lot of people out there. They could be, right? Absolutely, I agree. They could be the same individuals doing all this other stuff, but we do not know. And we are here to talk about facts. We're here to talk about the truth. And it's leading me to defend Kyle in this situation, in this regrettable misunderstanding. Then he wants to talk about this.
But here's the kicker. This guy had a gun in his hand. And if we believe what his friend posted on Facebook, where he says the kid shot Gage as he drew his weapon and Gage retreated with his gun in hand, I talked to Gage. To his only regret was not killing the kid and hesitating to pull the gun before emptying the entire mag into him.
Here's my thing with that. Why wouldn't he have a gun? Or why is him having a gun, this Gage guy, why is him having a gun so out of place? You know, we know that Kyle has a rifle. So why is Gage having a gun a big thing? Like, oh, he had a gun. Here's the kicker. He had a gun. Kyle had a rifle. What's the issue here? And then he posts like a clip of a friend of Gage's who quotes Gage, or not quotes, but pretty much says what Gage told him, right? What does that have to do with the situation? Here's what I'm talking about. Was what he told his friend before all the facts came out, right? As far as Gage understood, he was probably a murderer, and he wished he killed the murderer, right? The idea of justice transforming into vengeance, that's not an issue of bad actors trying to take advantage of the situation. That is a human reaction. So to bring that up is irrelevant. He didn't need to bring it up in order to prove any point. The fact that as far as Kyle was concerned, he was defending himself. As far as Gage was concerned, he was probably trying to, I'm gonna say, apprehend them. And I'm only saying this out of retrospect, because I'm not trying to take away from Kyle thinking that his life was in danger, whether or not he saw that pistol. Because here's the thing, and I don't know if people understand this, but a pistol is a ranged weapon. Gage didn't have to approach him, right? Gage could have shot him from a distance. Gage didn't. Kyle did fire at him when he thought his life was in danger. And we understand that, or at least I understand that. Everything that he said, this Gage guy, he said it after he got shot by an individual he probably thought was a murderer. So what was he supposed to do? Write a happy letter? Hey, Kyle, this is your buddy Gage. Just wanted to say thank you for not firing center mass. I appreciate it. There's a lot of this overcompensating, right? For example, somebody says something, right? The right thing to do is come and equalize it, right? Here's the facts. Here's the truth. Educate yourself. And then leave it at that, right? Sometimes people won't, like, and I said this in another video, sometimes people, regardless of what you tell them, aren't going to care. That is not the point. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But the point is that you go to the equal footing, right? It is not necessary to go and do unnecessary extra digging. Mr. Noir was doing well enough the way he was explaining things that he didn't need to add all this extra stuff, because all that ends up doing is giving it somebody else who doesn't see his point of view ammunition to not wanna agree with him. And that's one of the issues we're facing right now, is we're trying to find common ground, and we're not doing it because everybody's trying to outdo everybody else. And so when situations like these arrive, it's, let's tell the truth. Let's say things how they are. Let's not say unnecessary things. But I'll leave it at that. Watch Noir's video. I'll still endorse it because there are facts in there. Just keep in mind of what I'm saying. And until then, this has been a message from your national idiot. Take care, be safe.